Welcome back to Writing Done Right. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about the United States copyright and what you need to know when you are writing your book. So welcome back to the channel. I am Tom Morosky. I am an author and a technology consultant. Well, one of the areas I like discussing is technology, and I'm working on some dystopian type future stuff and maybe some dystopian reality as it relates to technology and some of the things I see in the industry. To that extent, and being that our nation has been mostly under lockdown, I just wrote a free ebook called Lockdown. I'm not even asking for any logins or anything else. You can just head right on over to worldwarepress.com, click there on the image there for Lockdown, and grab yourself a copy of the book. Inside that file, there is an EPUB, there is a Mobi for you guys that use Kindle, there is instructions on how to get that to your various e-readers, and there is a PDF version of the book as well. You can go on over to the website, and I'll go ahead and link it to the article in this video as well. That is worldwarepress.com. And that is the science fiction imprint arm of my publishing company. And that Lockdown is like a promotional to launch the thing out. And I have Synaptergy coming out in about a month's time now. So keep on an eye out for that. But as it discusses copyright, let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit. And first and foremost, I am not an attorney. I'm not a copyright attorney or otherwise. This is just from my experience, gathering what I have gathered, doing the things that I have done, and having 6 books down behind me at this point. And so what we're going to be looking at here is, do you need to register copyright, things like this. Now, we're talking here specifically about the United States. And so if you're listening to this in another country, hopefully this will just spark you to start looking and questioning what do you need in your specific region. I don't know the answers to those. But what I do know is a little bit about United States. The first question, do I need to copyright my book? The ultimate answer to this question is no, you don't. At the time, under United States law, when you produce your work, you own the copyright. You do not have to file anything with the government. But there is a little caveat. In order to take out a claim against somebody for violating your copyright does need to be registered. Now, if somebody else registers your copyright before you do, that does not mean you immediately lose your copyright, especially if you can prove and have evidence that you are actually the author. So for example, in the book Synaptergy, I have not yet pushed out the copyright because I do not have the final edits back yet, and I just want to get the most edited version of the book that I have out before I register the copyright. But if somebody were to come in and try and steal the copyright and put it in there, I have an abounding amount of evidence, from just the rough scribbled notes that I have about the storyline, to the recordings on my audio recorder, to all of the people involved in the beta reading program, that if it were come push to shove, I could actually win any court case over the copyright. But I could not file that copyright until I have the certification of copyright. And that actually looks like this. So this is actually the copyright registration that I have for the book I Am Not Amused, which is this one, which was just happened to be the first one that I had in my safe. I have all my book copyright registration codes in the in my safe there. So I grabbed this guy, and it's just on this nice, very thick, very official watermarked paper from the Copyright Office. It says Certificate of Registration up there in the corner. We have a seal of the United States Copyright Office up there. This contains with it the title, so the title of the work, which in this case is I Am Not Amused. It has the year of completion, the ISBNs, the first date of publication. It has the individual author or authors. And it says where you're a citizen of, the copyright claimant, which gives you your current address. So I have my business address there. Rights and permissions, the organization name is my indie publishing company, which is Our Walking Christ Publishing. And then it has a certification date at the very bottom. These are going to come to you from the Library of Congress. And that is what this guy looks like. So we're going to go ahead and put this guy in, and that's just the mailing address label there. So you'll get that in the paper quite a long time after you register the copyright. All right, so how do you get one of these registrations? Well, you have to file your book with the Copyright Office. This is going to entail you sending a copy of your book to the Copyright Office, which you can do in the full manuscript form, printing it, which I do not recommend you do that unless you have to. I actually did I Am Not Amused like that, and it took me, I forget, it was like half of a year or so, 3 to 6 months somewhere to get the copyright notice back from that book. Not that I absolutely had to have it, but if you upload a digital copy of the manuscript in PDF format, it processes way faster. So go ahead and upload the copy if you can. Now, this is actually different than the copy of the book you need to send to the Library of Congress. When you are assigning an LCCN number, the Library of Congress control number in your book, when you're assigning that, you get a notice that says, hey, here's your number. Please remember to send us a copy of the book as soon as it's there. This is for archival purposes. And in theory, the Library of Congress will have a copy of each book that there's an LCCN number for. And so when you get that number and you get your first books in, you need to send those out to the Library of Congress. That is a different send out than what goes to the Copyright Office. Despite they're both in the same place and the same address, it's a government organization. They operate completely independently of each other because nothing makes any sense. But hey, that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and do that. Now, how do you do this? You want to create an online account for the Copyright Office. Again, United States citizens. So this is at copyright.gov/registration. It is a very simple account, a very painless account. You create the account, you log in, and then you can actually store your author data, storing your publishing data. You get to just store all that stuff there. So next time you go in to copyright a book, you can just go select this author, select this company, select this information, and now all you have to do is upload your manuscript, give it the title, the ISBN number that has been assigned, and you're all good to go. Uploading everything, it should actually take about a 3 to 6 week turnaround, I think, if you do it digitally, and I recall it being like 3 to 6 months if you do it by mailing in a copy. So always upload the digital version if you have it available. And if I remember correctly, I had a lot of extra time to set up the copyright, but I wasn't done with the final manuscript. And so I waited about a week or two later till I got the final edits back from the editor before sending that on to the Copyright Office. So there is what you need to know. So a brief summary of this whole video. You do not need to register it, but you should, because you're going to need that on top of it being very official. And it's kind of a thing of pride to say, I got a Library of Congress watermarked registration of my copyright. There's something to that. But if anybody ever does try to infringe on your copyright, then you have the paper that gives you the legal smackdown for anybody that wants to mess with you. You'll be like, yeah, I got the copyright. Yo, what you got? I didn't mention the cost. It costs $50. So $50 to register the copyright. Not a bad investment. Of course, that plus the ISBN, everything else can start to add up. And this is why, hey, going with an indie publishing is good. So if you do write modern technology-based science fiction dystopia and you're looking for an indie publishing, I am just getting started with selling the services to other people, but it's clearly something I've had a lot of experience in. Go ahead and reach out to me on the contact form there on worldwarpress.com. If you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave us some comments, give us some likes or maybe some dislikes if you hate my ugly face, whatever that happens to be. But anyway, I hope that this video has helped you to get your writing done right.